My name is Elena Moretti, and for years I believed my life was perfect. I was married to Marco, a man I thought was devoted to me. We lived in a mansion, dined with the elite, and smiled for photographs at charity galas. But behind closed doors, the warmth was fading. Marco stayed out late, his phone locked with secrets, his eyes always somewhere else. One rainy evening, while clearing out his study, I found the first crack in our life together. A photograph of Marco with another woman, her hand on his chest, his lips on her hair. My stomach twisted. When I pressed him later that night, he didn't even deny it. He just stared at me coldly and muttered, "Stay out of my business." That was the moment I learned my husband wasn't just unfaithful. He was dangerous. Marco wasn't an ordinary businessman. He was part of a powerful criminal syndicate, the kind whispered about in police files and courtroom halls. I had been sleeping beside a stranger who ran a shadow empire. And now, I was caught in his web. Marco's world became mine whether I liked it or not. His enemies began to circle. One night, I was dragged to a grimy warehouse on the outskirts of the city, a gun pressed to my back. The air stank of oil and gunpowder. I was shoved into a chair under a single flickering bulb. Men with tattoos glared at me, waiting for orders. I thought Marco would protect me. Instead, he walked in with a smirk, his arm around the same woman from the photo. My heart shattered as he said, "She's nothing. Do whatever you want with her." That's when everything exploded, literally. A rival faction stormed the warehouse. Shots cracked, glass shattered, and chaos filled the air. In the confusion, I crawled behind crates, blood trickling from a cut on my arm. I should have died that night. Instead, a stranger pulled me up, whispering, "Come with me if you want to live." His name was Adrian Russo, a man Marco hated more than anyone. He was supposed to be my enemy. Yet, in that moment he was my savior. Adrian hid me in one of his safe houses. There, I learned the full truth. Marco had been laundering money through hospitals, bribing officials, and using me as a pawn to appear legitimate. The life I thought was mine had been a mask. Adrian should have handed me over or used me as leverage. Instead, he taught me how to survive, how to move without being seen, how to gather information. As we worked together, I saw a different side of him, not the monster the papers described, but a man with his own code, his own scars. Late at night, we would talk in whispers. He'd tell me stories of betrayal and blood oaths, of families destroyed by power. I told him about my shattered marriage and the years I'd wasted believing in a lie. Slowly, the walls between us fell. And slowly, I began to plan. Marco had stolen my life. I would take it back. I shed my old name like a snake shedding its skin. The timid wife disappeared. In her place rose Elena Valente, a woman who no longer asked for permission. With Adrian at my side, I infiltrated Marco's operations, feeding evidence to the right people, dismantling his empire piece by piece. When Marco finally realized what I had done, it was too late. He was arrested during a staged meeting, his empire collapsing around him. As the sirens wailed and he was dragged away in handcuffs, our eyes met one last time. He spat my name like a curse. I smiled back like a queen reclaiming her crown. Adrian stood behind me, silent but steady. He had never tried to own me. He simply stood beside me, a shadow who had become my ally, and something more. Years later, I walk through my home, not a mansion built on lies, but an empire built on truth and strength. Adrian is my husband now. We have 2 children who know nothing of the blood-soaked nights that brought us here. Sometimes, when the city sleeps, I sit on the balcony and look at the skyline. I remember the girl I once was. Naive, fragile, desperate for love. That girl is gone. In her place stands a woman who burned down her past and built a new future from the ashes. People whisper my name now. Not as a victim, but as a legend. Elena Valente, the woman who rose from betrayal to power, who turned her husband's world upside down and claimed her own. And though my story began with heartbreak, it ends here, with me, unbroken, unstoppable, and in control of my destiny. If you were in my shoes, would you have chosen revenge? Or walked away to start fresh? Drop your answer in the comments below. I can't wait to read your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next thrilling video upload.